Welcome back to all of you co creators and miracle workers all around the world. I really feel so compelled to talk to you today about how we can dismantle stress from a different perspective. So, we all understand the obvious stressors in life, the stressors of, having a lot to get done, how are we going to accomplish what needs to happen in the upcoming days? What's still left on our plate? Let's just say we're really, really busy, getting stuff done for work or personally. That's an obvious stressor. But this more subtle yet profound stressor became very evident to me this past week because we have been moving. So, myself and my family have moved from one home to another beautiful home, but the process really brought up a lot for me. I was incredibly overwhelmed, yet I really couldn't understand why because I'm excited about a move. I'm excited about a new place and all of that felt great, but there was this undertone of overwhelm that was very pervasive and almost emotionally dense for me this past week and especially over this weekend. And I wanted to share what I learned from that process. So if you're feeling stress in whatever capacity, whether you've had a physical move or you've got a lot on your plate or there's just a lot of uncertainty about what needs to get done for whatever reason, I want you to pay attention today because the obvious stressors of being busy, having a lot of work to do, is there. But often what we neglect are the subtle stressors that happen underneath, below all the obvious, that actually can be more overwhelming than the obvious busyness. Because many of us can be busy and still function really well. But what happens when we're having trouble functioning well? We're struggling with overwhelm, anxiety, just this very dense, heavy feeling. Well, what I learned this week during our physical move from one house to another is that the level of stress that comes from accumulation, from holding on to stuff, is much greater than we may understand. So if you're dealing with stress at any level, I want you to go to this place and begin evaluating for yourself what you're holding on to, because holding on actually takes a whole lot more energy than letting go. Now, often when we're thinking about letting go of something, it can feel very difficult. Like it's hard to let go of something that maybe somebody has done to us. And so we're holding some resentment or unforgiveness and hurt. And we feel like it's so hard to let that go. But the truth of the matter is, what if it's actually harder to hold on to it energetically than it is to let it go? And I recognized that this past week during our move, because during our move, as we were busy, I could have just felt busy, but instead I felt overwhelmed. And when I really sat with that overwhelm and even some tears that came from it, what I recognized is that I was exhausted from accumulating stuff. So there's two layers of accumulation that can happen. We can accumulate at the physical level in terms of the things in our life, the extra things that we hold on to, old clothes, old trinkets, old stuff, in case one day we may want it. And we accumulate. And in that accumulation, what we're really doing is holding on. And like I said, holding on actually can take a lot more energy than letting go. The other piece about accumulation is what we accumulate in terms of buried emotions, buried thoughts, the holding on of old hurts and traumas. That accumulation actually takes a lot of our energy that we don't necessarily recognize at the surface. We only really often will appreciate the busyness in our day-to-day life, the things we have to do. But I want you to understand that what we hold within ourselves emotionally, energetically, the hurt, the thoughts that are dense that hold us back, these things are actually creating a very strong undertone of stress. And I learned that. Now, in the last decade, through my healing journey, more than a decade now, I've had to really go inward and let go of a lot of stuff. And it is liberating in terms of buried emotions, old resentments, old anger, old sadness. I've had to deal with that, but I feel better. My body feels better. My mind feels better. I'm healthier. I actually healed. So that was life changing. But what I hadn't done, which I recognized during this move, is that it's time for me now to address the physical aspects of the things that I've held on to, the things in my room, things in our house, that are actually weighing me down, that are giving me this sense of holding on and feeling exhausted as a result of it. And I also understand that when it comes to energy, energy is always in motion. Energy wants to flow. So when we're holding on to something, holding on to things in our home, holding on to things in our emotional space, holding on, it takes up so much of our vital energy force. And being able to let go frees us, it releases us. And the beautiful piece is energetically, when we hold on, we occupy space, both in our physical home, but also in our physical body, which is our home for our soul. We occupy space. And then we can't really let in the other vibrations of joy and lightness and freedom and beauty that are possible for us. So I have an invitation for you because I'm doing this. I'm almost always on a journey of letting go of dense emotions, dense thoughts, because that's the work that I do. That's my livelihood. And that's what created so much of my healing that was quite miraculous. But I have to focus for me on some of the physical letting go of the things that I've accumulated in life. But my invitation to you is to pay attention and whether it's today or this week or this month, make it a point to let go. You will feel lighter. As hard as it may seem, you will feel better. Let go of something in your home that you've held on to that you feel that somebody else could actually benefit from. Give it away with love. Or, and also take a look at one thing at least within you that you have held on to, an anger, a resentment, a sadness, a hurt, and make space for that to let go. Because I believe that as you begin the letting go process, you will feel better. You will make more space for a happier, more beautiful life. If you have enjoyed this, please hit the like button. I'd love for you to subscribe to my channel because I will continue to bring content for you. And share if there is someone who you feel is stressed that this could help. I'd love for you to share this information as well. From my heart to yours, may you feel the ease and the lightness that comes as you begin to let go, because you will reduce stress in your life. Blessings until we meet again. Bye bye.